Dedicated, determined, dependable. This is News 10 ABC.
An active investigation in Gloversville after a body is found in a Steel Avenue apartment. We are live on the scene, but first.
In shock. I haven't spoken to anyone who, wasn't affected by it. They seem to be a nice, cohesive young family.
A possible murder-suicide investigation in its very earliest stages in Latham. What we're now learning about the crime, the victims, and the community's response. Good afternoon. Welcome to News 10 ABC at 6. I'm John Gray.
And I'm Elisa Streeter in for Lydia. A police officer, his wife, and their 10-year-old son all found dead in their Latham Drive home after a fire last night. Investigators still working to figure out exactly how they died. We have in-depth team coverage. We'll go to Anya and Noel in just a minute, but first, News 10 ABC's Lindsay Nielsen joins us at the scene of the fire. Lindsay.
Elisa, neighbors here tell me that they're having a very hard time dealing with this. They can't stop thinking about the terrible deaths that happen here. They tell me that they often would see Colony Officer Israel Roman walking his dog near his home here. Some of them tell me they were actually watching last night when this situation unfolded. They say there were large flames shooting out of his home.
Terrible. Terrible.
I just never understand.
Harvey Friedman and Elliot Schwabel, just a few of those who are struggling to understand the awful situation that unfolded in their quiet Colony neighborhood last night when Colony police officer Israel Roman's home went up in flames. Law enforcement sources say Roman's body, as well as his wife's and young son, were found inside. News of what sources say could be a possible murder-suicide had Friedman remembering the last time he saw Roman. He says he gave him mail on Friday that was put in his mailbox by mistake.
He said, I've been looking for that, and I noticed it was from a religious organization, and I said something like George Carlin would have said, how come God always wants money? He laughed, and that was the end of that exchange.
Schwabel says he was a firefighter for 20 years.
You come across these type of things happening, and you just never understand why.
He's confident state fire investigators and police will find answers.
And if anybody can figure it out, it'll be them.
As we know, there were a lot of firefighters here responding to this, and I spoke with some of them today, and I was told that there is a pastor that was at the Verdoy Fire Department last night helping to deal with this situation, of course, what this family is going through, and these neighbors that are still trying to wrap their heads around it all. Live in Colony, Lindsay Nielsen, News 10 ABC.
All right, thank you, Lindsay. Now, News 10 ABC's Anya Tucker has some new information just coming in now on how the tragic events unfolded, and in which way the officer, the wife, and the young child were said to have been discovered inside that home together. Anya joins us live, continuing team coverage now at the Colony Police Department. What have you learned, Anya?
Well, I can certainly tell you from what we have seen, all the investigators and officers walking in and out, and some who we've talked to, there is certainly a deep sense of grief and confusion coming from all those who work here at the Colony Police Department. Now, they are not speaking publicly about what happened or officially. However, sources close to this investigation are telling me that what happened inside this home, they believe, was not accidental.
What happened inside this home on Latham Drive Tuesday night, and why did it all end with the deaths of this Colony police officer, his wife, and their 10-year-old son? Sources close to this strange and tragic case tell News 10 ABC that investigators are now looking into it as a possible murder-suicide. This is one of the few photos we could find of Officer Roman out on bike patrol for the Colony PD. As for the events of Tuesday night, here's what we know right now. Tuesday had been Officer Roman's scheduled day off from work. The Romans' youngest son had apparently attended school and by all accounts had returned home safely. Hours later, though, around 6 p.m., calls over a fire at the Romans' home began to flood into 911. Responding officers said they tried to make entry, but the heat forced them to retreat. The officers said they heard loud pops going off from inside, possibly from ammunition, going on for about 5 minutes. After the fire was finally knocked down, investigators made their entry. Law enforcement sources say inside the home, the bodies of Israel Roman His wife and young son were all found lying on a bed together.
Now, the couple's older son had been attending a Shaker High School basketball game at the time of the fire. He is now the surviving member of this family, the only one. The New York State Police are investigating. They are right now not officially commenting on what happened. Live in Colony, Anya Tucker, News 10, ABC.
Thank you, Anya. When an investigation involves young kids, as this one does, it can be hard to process, especially for their friends and classmates. News 10 ABC's Noelle McLaren continues team coverage there. Noelle.
Well, Lisa, it's been a very somber day for North Colony schools, that's to say the least. They're dealing with the loss of an elementary school student, plus a high schooler who lost his family. Grief counselors have been made available on campus, but what about after class? How should parents handle this fragile situation and those conversations? I spoke with a family psychologist. When students return home from North Colony schools, parents could face a lot of questions.
This is a matter that will impact people for a while.
Superintendent Joseph Kaur says North Colony schools are prepping for a long haul after dealing with the death of one of their elementary students and his parents. Police are investigating the incident as a possible murder-suicide. What makes matters worse, another one of their students at Shaker High, that victim's brother, now left without a family. Superintendent Kaur said the entire district remains shaken. They're bringing in counselors, but how do parents talk to children about the tragedy?
Parents, they need to say, this is not us. This is not our family.
Family psychologist Frank Doberman says reassurance is the best thing you can give a grieving teen or child. He also suggests limiting social media.
Limit their access to random bits of information. Try to learn as much about it as you can as a parent, and then sit down and have a discussion with them about what facts you know, what we really don't know, and that this is incomprehensible.
Now, North Colony schools told us if parents do need help at home, they'll provide links to resources on their website. In the studio, Noelle McLaren, News 10 ABC.
Thank you, Noelle, and stay with News 10 ABC both on air and online for the very latest details on this developing investigation. Another investigation also in its early stages, this one in Gloversville.
A woman found dead inside an apartment on Steele Avenue. News 10 ABC's Carmen Chow is there, has the latest information. She joins us now live from the scene. Carmen.
While state police and the forensics team are still inside collecting evidence, neighbors telling me they're extremely surprised to find that an older woman was found dead in this home on Steele Avenue. Now, a neighbor also told me she was in her 60s and was someone who was always in a very good mood. Now, police got the call shortly after 12:30 this afternoon saying there was a medical emergency at the two-floored apartment. When police arrived, that's when they found the woman dead on the first floor. Police say they are still investigating as to how she died and what exactly happened here. I talked to a few neighbors who didn't know the woman too well, except she lived with her husband, Frank, who they say wasn't always in the best mood.
She would walk up and down the street here and say hi and bye, and that's about it, as far as I know.
Again, state police and forensics are still inside the home collecting evidence, and this house will be closed until further notice. And as soon as I hear or see more from police, I'll be sure to pass along those updates to you. For now, reporting live in Gloversville, Carmen Chow, News 10 ABC.
And time now to check in with Chief Meteorologist Steve Caprizzo for your Storm Tracker forecast. Steve.
All right, Lisa, thanks. We're looking at downtown Schenectady tonight from Proctor's. On this mostly cloudy night, a few snow flurries. Our Dunkin' Donuts Storm Tracker weather cam. We've had a few bursts of snow and flurries around, but really not a big deal here. By the way, did it feel nice today? 37. Right now, the temperature's 32, a little bit breezy. West winds at 14 miles per hour. It'll be a little gusty tonight. Now, here's the radar. We have a couple areas of snow flurries and snow showers. One up over Bennington County, especially from Shaftesbury northward. Another cluster of snow showers, the Taconic Hills, and for much of central Berkshire County over to Beckett. This is lake effect now getting into Fulton County. I do think western Montgomery and western Fulton counties will feel the impact from this lake effect band tonight. So there could be some localized 2 or 3 inch snowfall amounts off to the north and west of the capital region. We got this big pinwheel of cold air. You can actually see it here on the satellite and radar that's going to be with us for the next 24 hours. Now, average right now for the Northeast temperature-wise, you know what's coming. Watch out this weekend. The Polar Express, frigid air, will be smack dab over us. All right, let's check our forecast for tonight. Scattered snow showers, some heavier squalls to the west, a low near 21. Mostly cloudy, windy tomorrow, a few snow showers. Notice the temperature not rising much, 22. Clouding up Friday, 27. Some snow squalls towards evening. Much more on the weekend coming up later in the newscast. John?
All right, thank you much, Cap. Coming up after the break, big voter turnout for this vote on a controversial plan in Albany.
The snags faced by those looking to make their voices heard on Albany High's renovation plan and how officials are responding.
And in sports, Liana will be along with details on why Siena basketball fans are going to have to wait a little bit longer to see one of the team's big star players back on the court. Stay with us.
You're watching News 10 ABC. Dedicated, determined, dependable. You're watching News 10 ABC.
Second time seems to be the charm for a renovation plan for Albany High School. It was defeated back in November, but just last night, voters gave it their okay.
However, the process was not without a number of bumps in the road. News 10 ABC's Trishna Begum joining us live in the Media Center to explain maybe big bumps. Hi, Trishna.
Yeah, John, exactly. And a few more bumps even today, it seems. These are new numbers that we have from the Board of Education. These numbers are different from what you guys saw last night. That's because the Board of Ed found a discrepancy at one of their polling locations. That was at the Arbor Hill polling location. You can see from the yes votes and the no votes, only 189 more yes votes. Last night, that number was at 228. It was the second highest voter turnout ever in Albany School District history. Nearly 8,000 people showed up to cast their ballots.
It was just, it was the election process. It was democracy in action. And we had a few snags.
Those few snags included not having enough ballots printed.
We planned for 5,300 ballots, and we got 8,000.
5,300 was a number Catherine Cutting, a former school board employee who worked on this election, came up with using voter turnout averages from the past several years.
I've spoken to attorneys. There are grounds for us to pursue legal action.
Albany County Comptroller Mike Connors says he's talked to several people who felt the election was disorganized.
As soon as I have the names and addresses and phone numbers of enough people, we'll file paper.
But Connors says overturning an election can be difficult, and you have to be able to show a group of people who were not able to vote.
If a lawsuit comes about, we'll deal with that accordingly.
And Connors says that he will be meeting with the school board president today. Now, I want to bring this website to your attention. This is called albanytaxpayers.org. If you go on this website, they are asking for your specific experience at the polling place. If you had any problems yesterday, they are beginning to collect some of that information. Connors said that he is talking to people that are interested in filing some sort of a lawsuit. Now, the Albany School District, they are going full steam ahead, saying that they plan to put a new roof on that high school by this summer. Reporting live from the Media Center, I'm Trishna Begum for News 10 ABC.
All right, thanks so much, Trishna. Time now for a look at the weather. Let's head over to Steve.
Yep, hi, Steve.
Hey, guys, get ready. It's coming. We know 2 blasts of cold air. The one tomorrow will be cold, but not really bad. The weekend, it's going to be a completely different story here, so be prepared. And don't forget, think about spreading the word to protect your pets in this cold. Now today, kind of a mixed up day, right? Cool shot from the 21st floor of the Corning Tower downtown about 3:30 this afternoon. Dan Borden captured this snow squall that went through. They were scattered today, but that's a neat shot. Then it cleared right out. And amazing picture. That's a little snowflake that fell this morning. Cindy Flint Ragusa in East Otis, Mass, out in the Berkshires. She had about an inch of snow, that light, fluffy stuff, and that's what the snowflake looked like. Great job, Cindy. Love that picture. All right, let's check our first forecast. Scattered snow showers tonight and flurries. Now, when you get into western Montgomery and Fulton counties, there could be a little burst of heavier snow squalls, lake effect squalls. So 2 or 3 inches of accumulation out there. Otherwise, just a dusting to an inch. 24 by 5 a.m. All right, we got 31 at Saratoga, right at freezing here in Albany. Lake Pleasant, 22. Snow squalls around Utica and Syracuse, mid to upper 20s. Pittsfield, 28. 30 at Manchester. Hudson at 33. Here are the News 10 weather watches. 23 at Indian Lake. 33 at Whitehall. Hebron, 31. Right at freezing in Greenfield Center from Jim Glockner. Caroga Lake, 27. 28 in Gloversville and Galway. 31 up on the hill in Pownell, Vermont. My buddy Tim Beebe in Delmar tonight, 26. 26 in Dwaynesburg up on the hill, mid-20s around Wyndham tonight. 28 at Pittsfield, Adams 29, and up on the hill in East Otis, high elevations, mid-20s. All right, there's the upper level low. Cold Arctic air starting to get into the Great Lakes. So you can see these, actually if you watch, you can actually trace these fingers of lake effect snow showers and squalls. The real cold air, let me show you, put things into perspective here. 32 right now in Albany. You get up north of the border, it's already 0. This is the Polar Express, the polar vortex. These are current temps, 25 to 40 below. A chunk of this is heading south across Hudson Bay and will be arriving here by Saturday morning. Lake effect snow squalls to the west tomorrow on the Futurecast. Clouds, a little bit of sun. Flurries or a few snow showers here. Partly sunny Friday morning. Here's the Arctic cold front by late afternoon. This comes through at night, some squalls, and then you're going to know it by Saturday morning. Mostly cloudy, scattered snow showers tonight, a dusting to 1 inch. Squalls to the west, 2 to 4 inches in a low near 21. Tomorrow, not much of a temperature rise, low 20s. Scattered snow showers, squalls to the west. Wind chills single digits. On Friday, clouding up, a late day squall, 27. The Arctic air will be here Saturday, 6. Very windy, a few flurries. 9 below Saturday night. Valentine's Day, partly sunny, 10. Mid-20s here Monday, so moderating. And then snow or snow mixed Tuesday. We'll have to watch a storm and a high of 36. So get ready. It's going to get brutal here.
It is.
Okay.
Right. Thanks so much, Steve.
Let's see what's going on with Sienna.
Hey guys, well the Sienna men's basketball team just can't wait for Marquise Wright to take the court again. Coming up next in sports though, why the Saints will have to wait just a little longer until that happens. Stay tuned.
I don't think he wants me to really practice today. I think he wants me to wait another week.
There you have it, a false alarm at Sienna. Marquise Wright's return to practice, which was scheduled for today, has been delayed a week. His surgeon, Dr. Richard Alfred, and Sienna's head athletic trainer, Greg Dashnaw, agreed that the junior guard just wasn't quite ready. I spoke with Dashnaw today, who said at this level, you have to be right on to go back out on the floor. He added that this is not a setback. Wright is still within the 6 to 8 week recovery timeline that they had predicted, but that he's just better off taking a few more days to treat and strengthen both his foot and his calf.
If you watch close, you can just see him. He kind of just lifts his hip a little bit and puts his foot down as opposed to doing a heel-to-toe walk. So we're almost there. You know, a couple more days. We got to be patient at this point.
Wright said he's a little frustrated that his return to practice has been pushed back, but he's remaining patient. And if all goes well, by the way, those are the key words, if all goes well, then he could possibly play a few minutes in the game at Ryder a week from Friday. Meanwhile, outside, the countdown is on for the Sienna men's lacrosse team. The Saints open their season this Saturday at 5th-ranked Syracuse, and a different-looking team will take the field. 6 starters graduated, including the Saints' top 3 scorers, but this year's squad is excited about the chemistry it's already developed.
I think we share the ball so much better this year than we did last year. Collectively, we work well as a unit, so it's exciting to see.
We'll see just how well they work together Saturday at 1 o'clock. The Albany men's basketball team has already won 20 games this season. That's the fastest in program history. That said, the Great Danes are sitting in 2nd place in the America East standings, so there's still plenty to play for. The Albany's next challenge is one that's proven to be extremely difficult in recent memory. Playing at New Hampshire. The Danes are 2-6 in the last 8 games played in Durham, and the one on Saturday is a whiteout game.
They'll really relish this environment and really go hard, and it's good. We like to play in those games. We'd rather play in a gym where it's packed like that than have an empty one. So we'll be ready to go, but we know it's going to be a tough game, and it's a massive game for where standings are come to the end of the year.
And that's part of the issue at UNH is that gym tends to be a little bit emptier than the ones before. So the fact that it's a whiteout game might actually play into their hands a little bit more.
Right. All right. We'll be right back. One last look at the weather.
Yeah, tomorrow a heat wave, 22. No, it's going to be cold, but I assure you the next couple of days, scattered flurries and snow showers. Absolutely brutal for the Valentine's weekend.
At least you got a nice heart on Sunday.
Yeah, warming up.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Good night.